Do you realize that your resilience is strong? Even more so, it's powerful. It's been shaped by years of life, years of experience, years of highs and lows. And in those lows, experiencing and going through challenging times in a way that has further fueled your resilience, your ability to bounce back from each next challenge stronger and stronger. You've gained a growth of character through everything that you've lived through, everything that you carry with you. And yet, do you find sometimes that you get stuck in that repetitive thought loop? Thoughts that are focused on the challenge right now, the challenge, the problem, the pain, du jour, if you will. And that's exhausting. It's kind of interesting to think about, all right, so if I'm so resilient, why am I getting stuck in that storm, that cyclone of thought, which is more challenging? It's more than just ruminating. There are the thoughts, there are the emotions, there are additional layers of pain, which compounds the initial problem. We are in that storm of thought, that tempest, partially because we think, in a way, maybe subconsciously, that we are able to control some aspect of the problem. We're able to fix it. The more I focus on it, more I work through the everything from the pain to the challenges to possible solutions. We think we've got this rather false sense of control. So, how do we reconcile this? We're resilient, and yet we can get stuck in that repetitive thought loop of thoughts, emotion, and more pain. I've got some thoughts for you. Hi, I'm Rick Ram, and welcome to Plan to Be Your Best Live. I've been stuck in my own tempest for the past actually a couple of weeks, off and on. My, if we're connecting for the first time, I'm the developer of something called Plan to Be Your Best as you navigate pain. It's how to transform your journey with pain into a journey of resilience. And I'll share with you some facets of it that continue to evolve and grow and strengthen and gain clarity as a methodology, as a whole person approach of how to fuel resilience and thrive even with the pain. Ever since the seventh surgery on my left knee in 2019, I've been able to use what I've been learning from daily acute chronic pain since the knee's been left in a state of trauma to strengthen the Plan to Be Your Best method, which I was actually asked to first develop about 12 or 13 years ago. So your resilience is strong, and yet, and I'll say my resilience is strong, and yet we can get stuck in that thought loop. One of the first things that you might read online is how it's too much thinking. And then the articles by the psychologists will go on to say there are choices to make. There are more definitive steps to take to disrupt it, which in effect, isn't it true that it's more thinking that is actually what's going to get us out of that storm of thought and more pain? What if you thought about your resilience as something that's alive? One of the things I've been practicing lately with the what my experience is blasts of pain that come quite randomly. Lately, because I've been a little bit more active, my baseline pain is probably about 3 or 4 times greater, and I have had periods of constant pain. But it's those blasts of acute agony which are especially if it's at the rate of sometimes about a dozen an hour, it gets to be downright challenging. And that's what the past couple of weeks have been like. In fact, in some of the ruminating I've been doing, I was thinking, ah, I don't have it in me to go live, but I have a plan. And I decided I'm going to, even with that storm of thought, because following through on this, following through on my plan, I'm exercising resilience. I am talking about resilience, and therefore I'm experiencing resilience. And that's one of the things that comes out of using the 3 steps of resilience. is one of the two main facets in the Plan to Be Your Best methodology. We tune in. Second step is plan, which is think about options and make a choice, and then be our best, and that's to follow through. And I'm feeling, if I may share with you, I'm feeling lifted after a morning of waking up, experiencing pain before I put my feet on the floor, and going through those thoughts that I've got through the course of the morning, that I've got to minimize what I do today. I've got to put up boundaries, which are very important. And yet I have a plan. I want to follow through. I haven't been able to go live for the past couple of weeks or so, maybe 3 weeks, because these have been such challenging times. But here I am. I wanted to reignite this pattern of going live. And I emphasize that word pattern because exercising and growing our resilience is about establishing new patterns, identifying existing patterns, and then trading them for patterns that are going to better serve us both in the moment and in the future, better serve us as we navigate pain, as well as serve others, which is a key component in the methodology. The more we do serve others, and in fact, serve is one of the 8 paths of intentionality. If pain and the level of pain must be matched by the level of intentionality, that begs a number of questions, including how exactly do I need to be intentional? In what ways can I be intentional to be stronger with my resilience? So, as we take a look at those 3 steps of resilience, tune in. Tuning in is about understanding, identifying, and validating what we're actually experiencing. Then plan, think about our options, and then be our best. Choose one, follow through, and even celebrate that following through and exercising our resilience. So, back to that question of what if we look at your resilience as something that's alive? One of the things I've been practicing saying is when I get a blast of pain, I answer it with that pain is real, but my resilience is alive. And if resilience is a living thing, so to speak, what does it need to thrive? What does it need to stay alive and be alive and to grow stronger and stronger? Any living thing, if we think about it, is something that requires several key qualities, let's say, elements. One is energy. And I'm experiencing energy by talking about resilience. And let me just share with you that I am live here. This is going to be up on both LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. I wanted to let you know that I'm here and that you can chat with me. If the technology works right, I'm using Riverside, which I like a lot. I think it's terrific. I'm still getting used to some of the differences that it has compared to other platforms, but I'm here and I can see your chat, your questions. I'm here to answer your questions. I'm here to encourage you. I'm here to give you insights in terms of how you can strengthen your own unique resilience. Because your pain experience is something that is unique. No one else can experience whatever is overwhelming to you quite like you. And in a similar way, your resilience is unique. And that's why your best is greater than the pain. So if that resilience is alive, it needs first and foremost energy to live. And so much of navigating pain, and I really honed in on this during the years when I went through the fourth, fifth, and sixth surgeries on my left knee, is that I needed to be more thoughtful, more intentional in terms of how I spend my energy, how I create energy, and how I preserve it. In what ways, if we tune into this, in what ways are you able to provide fresh energy for your resilience? In what ways might you preserve your energy? And in what ways are you spending your energy so that it is preserved, so that it is positive, so that it is helping you be resilient? Part of the challenge with when we are being overwhelmed by any form of pain, whether it's physical pain, grieving, or excessive stress is that it consumes our energy very, very quickly. And that energy which we lose is one of the reasons why we grow tired, if you will. And it's easier to fall into that repetitive pattern of thought, that cyclone, that looping thought of thoughts, emotion, and more pain. So think about, and I believe as we think through this question, as I ask you this question, and I'm doing it not so much to say, to set up, let me make some suggestions for you, but your answers to the resilience questions are going to be the best answers. You know yourself better than anyone else. And I want to encourage you in this moment to actually take a moment and pause, take a deep breath, and acknowledge, all right, I know who I am, I know what I need, and I'm going to make those intentional, deliberate choices to win back the focus that pain takes away, to spark new positive energy. I will share with you in my resilience toolkit, there are over 2 dozen different things that I can do, thoughts that I choose, emotions that I choose, actions that I take, which will win back my focus and spark new positive energy, which also feeds the other thing that pain can do, and that is take away the hope. When I experience pain every day now for almost 6 years since that seventh surgery, there are times when my hope has faded, and yet I've got a plan. I know what to do, including choosing, identifying in those 3 steps of resilience, choosing to put on an attitude of gratitude, to think about those things for which I am grateful. I say it often because this is something that works all the time. And if it doesn't quite work as fast or as much as I hope or need in the moment, it's a matter of thinking of those 3 steps of resilience like a wheel, to go around it again, to go around the barn again, if you will. Keep tuning in and then keep going into that next step, planning, and then being my best, that 3rd step. Eventually, that is going to win out over that tempest, that storm, and that cycle of thought and pain. But I think about those things I'm grateful for. I think about anything from the beautiful day to learning, having learned all that I have, so that I can share with you some encouragement that your best is greater than the pain and you're stronger than you know. Sometimes it's not so much a matter of really the strength, it's a matter of being exhausted, which is a totally understandable human part of the experience of navigating chronic pain or difficult grief. So what else does anything that's alive, if resilience is alive, if it's a living thing, other than energy, what more does it need? How about water? What would the water be for your resilience? What would be refreshing for your resilience? One of the things that I found, just as we're doing here, we're talking about resilience. It is like taking a drink of fresh, life-giving water for resilience. I'm focused on it. I am practicing resilience. It is more fuel for the life of my resilience. What might that water look like for you? Is it perhaps getting together with someone you know, someone who can extend empathy, compassion, understanding, someone who knows active listening and can listen to you and reflect back to you what you're experiencing, to go through those 3 steps of resilience together and find that that conversation turns into a kind of water for your resilience. The environment is another thing that matters to any living thing for it to thrive and for it to be sustained. The environment that we have, including for resilience, is the environment of our thoughts, the environment within our mind. What are we feeding our mind? Are we feeding positivity into our thoughts and our spirit, our souls, and into our emotions? Are we feeding it thoughts that create an environment that is designed to to help us thrive, to help your resilience be renewed and strengthened. The eight paths of intentionality include such things as the now. That the now is actually the fourth path of intentionality. Different ways, different skills of how to be in the now, both for the moment. What do I need now? What is it that I need to shift to win back that focus and spark new positive energy? In that now moment, the environment of that moment matters greatly. Is it a peaceful time? Or is that tempest of thought and emotion still spiraling and keeping us stuck? What is the physical environment? Are you in a place of peace and calm? Another thing that is needed for anything to be sustained in life is homeostasis, to create a balance of your entire being. And how might you take a look at your resilience, and what would the homeostasis qualities be that help you thrive? And actually, perhaps even if you will, make a choice to set yourself on a path of perpetually growing your resilience and how to thrive even with the pain. What does that look like to you? So, those are some reflections for the day, some questions for us. One of the things that is key, another one of the eight paths of intentionality, is encourage. You've heard me say it, and I often say it for myself. This wonderful quote by Goethe that instruction does much, but encouragement, everything. The encouragement that we give ourselves as opposed to beating ourselves up. I know what that's like. The doubt that might get sowed in the course of navigating acute chronic pain. The encouragement is a source of water, if you will, um, and that is refreshing. Encouragement, when it is something that when you encourage yourself, you're refreshing yourself. When you receive encouragement from someone else, that flows like life-giving water, doesn't it? Are you connecting with people who are encouraging, who know how to encourage you in a way that does two key things? One, it supports connection, and it supports and reflects an understanding. Sometimes one of the most important aspects of encouragement is found in exactly the words that are used, the sentiment, and one way to look at effective encouragement. One way to look at effective encouragement is to ask these questions. Does it support? Does it identify? Does it recognize your resilience? Does it recognize how you're so able to thrive even with the pain? Does it support the building of connection? And does it support the understanding that is so needed? Another aspect of this, and well, let me bring this up. Starting this Sunday is the I just noticed my screen, my connection just went for a moment. I hope I'm here. If Let me just say again, if you're here, I'm keeping my eye on the chat tool. If you've got any questions now or even after this live session goes into a recording, I'll be checking the comments and questions, and I'm here for you. As part of my mission in life is to equip and encourage you to plan to be your best as you navigate pain. So this Sunday is the first at 3 o'clock this Sunday is the first of Take Heart, Encouragement and Resilience in Action. The first and third Sundays of each month at 3 p.m. Eastern, Take Heart, Encouragement and Resilience in Action will be a free 30-minute to 45-minute time of simply looking to do three things with our encouragement. Strengthen the way we encourage ourselves, encourage others, and receive encouragement from people who understand, who are going through their own journey. If you're dealing with chronic pain, I invite you. You can take a look at rickcram.com and find all the details there. You'll see it profiled on the homepage of my website, just one click away, and you can read all about it and sign up. Again, it's free via Zoom the first and third Sundays of each month at 3 p.m. Eastern. I hope you'll take a look at it. And even if it's you or someone that you know, you might share this with others. Simply, if you need a lift, it's for you. I'm here for you. I want to thank you so much for letting me jump on, even in my own exhausted state, talk about resilience, share some thoughts that's been top of mind for me lately, helping me get through each day. These are the thoughts that I've been focusing on, I've been planning with, and I've been applying to my own resilience to navigate the higher level of pain. No solace for me, but it's an honor to be able to share this experience with you in the hopes that it does encourage you and perhaps give you some insights to illustrate, help you experience that your best is greater than the pain. Thank you so much. And I'll look forward to any thoughts that you've got in any way that I can be of more support to you. Make it a great Friday.